Something unprecedented in concert history was happening. Elvis Presley had just dropped his microphone in the middle of Love Me Tender. As he stepped down from the stage and began walking into the crowd, 30,000 people held their breath. His destination was clear. That young woman who needed help. Karen Wells wasn't your typical 19-year-old. Her heart beat to the rhythm of music, and her soul soared at the thought of live performances. Ever since she was young, she had dreamed of experiencing thrilling concerts where the energy of the crowd and the power of the performers merged into something truly magical. Tonight was especially significant. She had finally managed to secure a ticket to see the legendary Elvis Presley perform live at the International Hotel in Las Vegas. The anticipation had been building for weeks, and as she prepared for the concert, her excitement was practically bubbling over. Karen carefully chose her favorite outfit, a flowing blue dress that made her feel confident and ready for a night she would remember forever. She had spent hours practicing singing along to some of Elvis's greatest hits, hoping she could join in the fun with thousands of other devoted fans. When she arrived at the packed venue, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. The energy was infectious, with fans filling every corner of the arena, chatting eagerly as they awaited their idol's appearance. Karen navigated through the crowd in her wheelchair, feeling a potent mix of joy and nervous anticipation coursing through her veins. She could almost hear Elvis's voice, calling out to her in her imagination, giving her strength and filling her with determination. As she approached the area where her seat was located, she could hardly contain her excitement, completely unaware that her journey that evening was about to take a surprising and life-changing turn. The energy inside the concert venue was absolutely electric, with thousands of fans buzzing with excitement as they settled into their seats for what promised to be an unforgettable evening. The air was thick with anticipation, and the sounds of laughter and animated chatter filled every corner of the massive space. Colorful lights danced across the walls and ceiling, creating a vibrant atmosphere that made everyone feel alive and connected to something greater than themselves. Karen looked around in wonder, observing the sea of faces filled with pure joy and anticipation. Each person seemed eager to catch even the smallest glimpse of the legendary Elvis Presley. Some enthusiastic fans waved handmade posters and colorful banners, while others shared stories of previous concerts they had attended, reliving precious memories of unforgettable performances that had touched their hearts. The delicious smell of popcorn and cotton candy wafted through the air, adding to the festive atmosphere that reminded everyone of childhood fairs and magical moments. As the minutes ticked by slowly, the crowd's excitement grew louder and more intense. People began to chant Elvis's name in unison, their voices blending together into a powerful roar that echoed throughout the entire venue, creating an almost spiritual experience. Karen felt her heart race in direct response to the collective energy surrounding her. She could hardly wait for her idol to appear on that magnificent stage. This was more than just a concert to her. It was a celebration of music, passion, and the human spirit that brought thousands of strangers together in perfect harmony. In that magical moment, nothing else mattered in the world except the thrill of live music and the hope that tonight would be absolutely magical. The lights dimmed slightly, signaling that it was almost time for Elvis to make his grand entrance, and Karen took a deep breath, ready to overcome any obstacles that might lie ahead. With her heart full of excitement and determination, Karen began to wheel herself toward the entrance of the venue, her mind completely focused on reaching her designated seat in the midst of the bustling crowd. The energy around her was infectious and uplifting, but navigating through the dense groups of people proved to be far more challenging than she had initially anticipated. Karen carefully maneuvered her wheelchair through the crowd, feeling a complex mix of determination and growing apprehension. Excited people jostled past her on all sides, many completely lost in animated conversations or gazing with rapt attention toward the stage where Elvis would soon appear. She found herself having to ask for help from several strangers, and thankfully, most were kind enough to guide her through the tighter spaces between groups of fans. Yet as she approached the area area where her seat awaited her, it became increasingly clear that the crowd was much thicker and more challenging to navigate than she had thought possible. Despite the mounting obstacles, Karen remained absolutely resolute in her determination. She was here for one important reason: to experience the pure magic of live music performed by her idol. With each push of her wheels, she reminded herself to stay positive and focused on her goal. She could almost hear Elvis's powerful voice calling to her across the crowd, urging her forward and giving her strength. All she needed was to reach that seat and let the transformative music take over her entire being. The spirit of the concert was pulling her forward with an irresistible force, and nothing in the world would hold her back from enjoying this once-in-a-lifetime experience. As Karen finally approached the general area where her seat was located, she felt a rush of excitement mixed with growing anxiety coursing through her body. The crowd had thickened considerably, and it became increasingly difficult for her to maneuver through the bustling sea of eager fans. People were talking, laughing, and jostling enthusiastically for better views of the stage, their focus entirely on Elvis and the upcoming performance, with little awareness of those around them who might need assistance. With each determined push of her wheelchair, Karen found herself getting more and more stuck in the dense crowd. She tried desperately to squeeze between two excited fans who were blocking her path, but the space was simply too narrow for her wheelchair to pass through safely. Frustration began to bubble up inside her as she called out politely for help, but her voice was completely drowned out by the loud music and thunderous cheers echoing throughout the arena. It felt as though she had become invisible in this moment of chaos and excitement. Her heart raced as feelings of helplessness began to creep into her consciousness. Panic started to rise slowly in her chest as she watched others around her dancing and singing along joyfully, which only intensified her longing to join in the celebration. Even though Karen was determined to find a way forward, the harsh reality of being stuck in that crowded area began to weigh heavily on her previously optimistic spirit. Would she ever make it to her seat? Would she miss the concert she had dreamed about for so long? As Karen remained stuck in the increasingly dense crowd, she glanced around desperately, noticing the security personnel stationed throughout the massive venue. They appeared busy managing the excitement of the thousands of fans, working diligently to ensure everyone remained safe and was enjoying themselves to the fullest. However, their focus seemed solely directed at controlling the larger crowd dynamics and preventing any major incidents, completely overlooking individuals like Karen who desperately needed personal assistance navigating the challenging environment. Karen watched with growing disappointment as security guards moved swiftly past her, efficiently directing people and checking for potential safety issues, but none seemed to notice her struggle or the distress clearly visible on her face. The loud music and enthusiastic cheering filled the air, making it nearly impossible for her to call out for help in a way that would be heard above the deafening noise. She felt a deep sense of frustration grow within her as she realized that while security was certainly doing their assigned job, they were missing an important aspect of their duty: being aware of those who might need special attention in such a chaotic environment. In a moment that felt both isolating and overwhelming, Karen couldn't help but wonder if large events like this truly prepared their staff adequately to assist everyone effectively and compassionately. She longed desperately for someone, anyone, to see her predicament and step in to help, but as she observed the guards attending exclusively to the more boisterous fans, she wished for just a moment of genuine compassion that could make all the difference in her evening. As Karen sat there feeling increasingly overwhelmed and forgotten, she couldn't help but observe the crowd of enthusiastic fans around her. Everyone seemed completely caught up in the excitement of the upcoming concert, dancing and singing along to the pre-show music with pure, unbridled joy. However, amid their infectious enthusiasm, they seemed completely unaware of her struggle and growing distress. People were laughing heartily and chatting animatedly, focused solely on their own experiences and anticipation, and it struck Karen how easily people can become self-absorbed in moments of personal joy. A couple standing nearby waved their hands enthusiastically in the air, completely lost in the music and entirely oblivious to the fact that Karen was desperately trying to get through the crowd behind them. It felt as though she had somehow faded into the background, becoming invisible despite being surrounded by thousands of people. Karen's heart sank as she realized this indifference wasn't just her unique experience, but rather a common occurrence at large events where individuals might easily overlook those in need of assistance or basic consideration. She felt invisible and yearned deeply for someone to notice her plight and offer help. Just as she thought hope was beginning to slip away from her grasp, she wondered if there was something that could stir genuine compassion among the concert-goers, an awareness that would remind everyone that amidst all the fun and excitement, it's crucially important to look out for one another. She wished desperately for a sense of community to prevail, where kindness would shine brightly even in the most exciting and chaotic moments. Just as Karen's feelings of frustration and helplessness reached what felt like a breaking point, the arena lights dimmed dramatically, and the crowd erupted in thunderous cheers that shook the very foundations of the building. The moment everyone had been waiting for had finally arrived. Elvis Presley stepped onto the stage with his characteristic confidence and undeniable charisma, and the atmosphere instantly transformed into one of pure exhilaration and electric energy. Clad in his iconic white jumpsuit that sparkled brilliantly under the stage lights, he radiated an almost supernatural charisma and energy that seemed to captivate every single person in the massive venue instantaneously. With his trademark confident smile, Elvis greeted his devoted fans with an enthusiastic wave, and his rich, powerful voice rang out like magic, instantly igniting the crowd and sending waves of excitement throughout the arena. Each note he sang filled the air with joy and pure emotion, and fans immediately joined in singing along to their favorite songs with voices raised in harmony. The sound of Elvis's incredibly powerful voice, mixed with the enthusiastic shouts of adoration, created an atmosphere that felt like a true celebration of music and life itself. Karen watched in complete awe as he moved gracefully across the stage, engaging directly with his audience and making meaningful eye contact with fans who were utterly entranced by his magnetic presence. His charisma was absolutely infectious, reaching every corner of the venue. Even those who had been lost in their own worlds just moments ago were now dancing and swaying rhythmically to his mesmerizing songs. In that magical instant, Karen felt a glimmer of hope rising in her chest, imagining herself joining everyone else in this truly magical experience. If only she could somehow reach her designated seat. As the music filled every corner of the arena and the massive crowd swayed in perfect rhythm, Elvis continued to engage passionately with his thousands of devoted fans. But then, something unexpected caught his sharp eye. In the midst of all the joy and celebration surrounding him, he noticed Karen struggling in her wheelchair, completely surrounded by a sea of people who seemed oblivious to her desperate plight. His expression shifted noticeably from pure excitement to genuine concern as he paused mid-song, carefully scanning the audience to better understand what was happening in that particular section of the crowd. Elvis had always been known throughout his career for his deep personal connection with his fans, and this crucial moment was absolutely no different. He could clearly see that Karen was feeling anxious and frustrated, and it tugged powerfully at his compassionate heart. Without any hesitation whatsoever, he stopped singing completely and stepped away from the microphone. The music faded significantly, and the entire crowd hushed in confusion and anticipation. attention, sensing that something truly important was unfolding before their eyes. He pointed directly toward Karen, signaling clearly for her to hold on and not lose hope. The atmosphere shifted dramatically from one of pure exuberance to one of collective attention and concern, as thousands of fans began to part naturally, creating a clear path for their beloved idol. Elvis jumped down confidently from the elevated stage, determination etched clearly on his famous face. The audience erupted into even louder cheers as he made his way purposefully toward Karen, ready to lend a helping hand and ensure that she could be a full part of this unforgettable night. This wasn't just about the music anymore. This was about human compassion and ensuring that every single person felt valued and included. Elvis's spontaneous decision to jump off the stage sent a powerful wave of excitement and admiration rippling through the entire audience. It was a genuinely powerful and compassionate act that spoke volumes about his true character as both a performer and a human being. As he made his determined way through the crowd, the cheers grew exponentially louder, transforming the energy in the venue from mere excitement to a shared sense of celebration, unity, and collective support for both Elvis and Karen. Devoted fans quickly parted like the Red Sea to create a completely clear path for him, their faces filled with awe and deep admiration for what they were witnessing. When Elvis finally reached Karen, he bent down gracefully, a warm and genuine smile lighting up his entire face as he addressed her directly and personally. His presence was immediately calming and reassuring, and in that precious moment, it felt as though they were the only two people in the massive crowd of thousands. It was as though he could instinctively sense the struggles she had been facing, empathizing completely with her situation and genuinely wanting to make everything right. Without any hesitation, he asked kindly if he could help her navigate to a better position. Karen's heart soared with overwhelming gratitude as he took gentle control of her wheelchair with careful, respectful hands. The heartfelt connection between them resonated powerfully with everyone watching, illustrating perfectly the transformative power of compassion expressed through a simple yet profound act of kindness. It became an absolutely unforgettable moment for Karen and everyone in attendance, a beautiful reminder that true stars shine not just for their incredible talent, but also for their remarkable ability to lift others up when they are most in need. Elvis knelt beside Karen with genuine care, his warm smile immediately easing her anxiety and making her feel truly seen and valued. With a gentle yet confident demeanor that put her completely at ease, he asked if she was ready to move to a better location. She nodded eagerly, her heart racing with overwhelming gratitude and complete disbelief that this was actually happening to her. As he took hold of the handles of her wheelchair with careful respect, the massive crowd watched in a mixture of awe and deep admiration. A collective hush fell over the thousands of people as they witnessed this unexpected and beautiful act of genuine kindness unfolding before their very eyes. With careful precision and obvious care, Elvis began to roll Karen up the accessible ramp, his focus solely on her well-being and comfort throughout the process. As they ascended together, the cheers erupted once more, filling the entire venue with an absolutely electrifying energy that seemed to touch every soul present. This was far more than just a moment of practical assistance. It symbolized a deep, meaningful connection between artist and fan, a powerful acknowledgement that everyone deserves compassion, respect, and support, regardless of their circumstances. As they reached the top of the ramp together, Elvis turned to Karen with genuine warmth and said with conviction, "You belong right here with us, sweetheart." This simple yet profound statement made Karen feel truly seen and valued in a way she had longed for throughout the entire evening. He then gestured graciously for her to stay beside him for the remainder of the performance, ensuring she would have the best possible view and experience. In that heartwarming scene, surrounded by music, love, and the support of thousands of people, Karen knew with absolute certainty that she would never forget this this magical night, a true testament to the incredible power of kindness in bringing people together. As Elvis helped Karen ascend the ramp, a whirlwind of powerful emotions flooded her heart like a dam bursting open. Pure joy surged through her entire being as she felt the warmth of this extraordinary moment envelop her. Like the most comforting blanket imaginable, she couldn't believe that the legendary Elvis Presley was right beside her, making her feel valued and included in an experience she had longed for throughout her entire life. It was as if he had reached into her dreams and turned them into beautiful reality at that very instant. The thunderous cheers of the crowd echoed around them like a symphony of support, but all Karen could focus on was the incredible connection she felt with Elvis and the overwhelming sense of belonging that washed over her. Each cheer resonated deep within her spirit, lifting her higher and adding to the pure magic of the moment. Filled with complete disbelief and wonder, she thought about how just moments ago she had felt hidden and forgotten in a sea of excitement and celebration. And now here she was, sharing a precious, intimate moment with her idol, the person whose music had carried her through both joyful and difficult times in her life. When they reached the top of the ramp, she looked up at him with eyes wide with gratitude and said with a trembling voice, "Thank you so much. This means everything to me." Elvis smiled back at her with genuine warmth, nodding with understanding as if to say, "You belong here, and you always have." In that single beautiful moment, Karen realized that kindness truly could transcend any barrier and that music genuinely had the power to connect hearts across any divide. As they reached the elevated top of the ramp, Elvis turned to Karen with a warm and genuinely inviting smile that seemed to light up his entire face. "Why don't you stay right here with me for the rest of the set?" he offered, his voice filled with authentic kindness and inclusion. Karen couldn't believe her ears. This was an unexpected dream come true beyond her wildest imagination. The massive crowd erupted in enthusiastic cheers, sharing wholeheartedly in the joy of this special moment and celebrating the beautiful humanity they were witnessing. As she settled comfortably beside him in a place of honor, Karen felt an overwhelming sense of belonging wash over her like warm sunshine. The connection between Elvis and his devoted fans was absolutely palpable and inspiring. It was crystal clear that music wasn't just a performance for him. It was a powerful way to bring people together, create community, and spread love and understanding throughout the world. Elvis continued to sing with even more passion than before, but now it felt completely different for Karen. She was no longer just an observer watching from the sidelines. She was an integral part of something much bigger, a vibrant community brought together by their shared love for music and human connection. As the beautiful songs flowed through the air like liquid gold, she sang along with all her heart, feeling the support and love of everyone around her, lifting her spirit to new heights. In that magical space beside Elvis, Karen realized how powerful it is when artists truly embrace their fans in such a profound and meaningful way. That night wasn't just about seeing a concert or hearing great music. It was about connection, compassion, and the beautiful reminder that we're all part of a shared human experience filled with love, understanding, and unity. The moment Karen joined Elvis on the elevated platform transformed the entire atmosphere in the venue, turning what was already an incredible concert into a shared experience that resonated deeply with every single fan present in that magical space. As they stood together, an unspoken bond formed among the entire audience, who felt a powerful sense of unity in witnessing such a beautiful display of kindness and human compassion. The cheers grew even louder and more passionate, enveloping both Karen and Elvis in an overwhelming wave of love and support that was absolutely palpable and deeply moving for everyone present. For Karen, being beside Elvis not only fulfilled her lifelong dream, but also connected her to every person in that massive crowd in a way she had never experienced before. They were no longer just individual fans watching a performance from their separate seats. They were part of a unified community that celebrated music, compassion, connection, and the beautiful power of human kindness working together. Each note sung echoed the shared emotions of joy, belonging, and deep appreciation for one another that filled every corner of the arena. As the concert continued with renewed energy, the audience sang along more fervently than ever before, their voices rising in perfect harmony with Elvis's powerful vocals. Every chorus was infused with a renewed energy and purpose as they collectively embraced the night's magic and the lesson in compassion they had all received. This unexpected gesture from Elvis deepened everyone's appreciation for the concert experience, reminding every person present that music truly has the incredible power to uplift, unite, and create absolutely unforgettable memories through simple yet profound acts of kindness and human understanding. It was a night that none of them would ever forget, a beautiful testament to the transformative power of music and compassion working hand in hand. In the aftermath of that magical and transformative night, Karen found herself reflecting deeply on the profound impact of Elvis's simple yet powerful act of kindness. It struck her how small gestures, when performed with genuine heart and intention, could create lasting memories and change lives for the better in ways that ripple out far beyond the initial moment. The moment Elvis stepped off that stage to help her didn't just fulfill her personal dream. It made her realize that she was never truly alone in her struggles, and that compassion and understanding could come from the most unexpected places. The concert had transformed into a powerful reminder for everyone present that evening. Each fan left the venue with a renewed sense of awareness toward those around them, carrying with them a deeper understanding that compassion is often just a small step away from making someone's entire world brighter. Karen hoped with all her heart that people would carry this important lesson forward, being more mindful of others in moments of excitement and joy, and remembering that we all have the power to make a difference in someone's life. Kindness, she learned through this experience, can break down barriers and create a supportive community where everyone feels valued and included. As she shared her incredible story with friends and family in the days that followed, Karen encouraged them to embrace opportunities to help others, no matter how small the action might seem at first glance. She knew that the love and unity felt during that concert could ripple outward like waves on a pond, inspiring others to act with compassion in their daily lives and creating a chain reaction of kindness that could change the world. The experience had changed not only her, but also everyone who witnessed it, serving as a beautiful testament to the incredible power of human connection through kindness, understanding, and the willingness to reach out to others in their time of need. In the end, this unforgettable night highlighted the true power of music to unite people from all walks of life, creating bonds that transcend ordinary experiences and touch the very core of what it means to be human. Elvis's compassionate act of kindness toward Karen not only transformed her concert experience, but also left a lasting impression on every single person who witnessed it, creating ripples of inspiration that would spread far beyond that night. Together, they had celebrated a moment that perfectly blended joy, support, and love, illustrating beautifully how music can bridge gaps and foster a genuine sense of community among strangers who become friends through shared experience. As the crowd departed the venue that night, conversations buzzed excitedly about the memorable event they had all shared, with many expressing how deeply inspired they felt to spread kindness in their own lives and communities. But the story didn't end when the lights dimmed and the last note faded away. In the days that followed, word of what had happened at the International Hotel spread like wildfire throughout Las Vegas and beyond. Local newspapers picked up the story, and soon national media outlets were reporting on Elvis's extraordinary act of compassion. "The King shows his true crown," read one headline. "Elvis Presley proves music heals all hearts," declared another. Television news programs featured interviews with audience members who had witnessed the magical moment, each sharing their own perspective on how the evening had touched their lives. lives. Karen found herself at the center of this media attention, but rather than feeling overwhelmed, she embraced the opportunity to share her message of hope and inclusion. She appeared on talk shows and gave interviews to magazines, always emphasizing that the real story wasn't about her personally, but about the power of compassion to transform lives. "Elvis didn't just help me that night," she would tell reporters with tears of gratitude in her eyes. "He showed 30,000 people what it means to truly see someone else's struggle and choose to act. That's a lesson worth far more than any concert ticket." The impact of that evening extended far beyond the immediate aftermath. Concert venues across the country began implementing new accessibility protocols, ensuring that guests with disabilities would never again face the challenges that Karen had experienced. Event organizers started training their staff specifically to identify and assist those who might need extra support in crowded environments. Music industry professionals took notice as well. Other performers began incorporating similar gestures of inclusion into their own shows, understanding that their platform came with the responsibility to create welcoming spaces for all fans. The night became a case study in music schools and entertainment business programs, taught as an example of how artists can use their influence to promote positive social change. But perhaps the most profound impact was on the individual level. Audience members who had been present that night began sharing their own stories of transformation. A businessman from California wrote to Elvis's management, describing how witnessing the event had inspired him to volunteer with organizations supporting people with disabilities. A group of college students from Nevada started a campus initiative to improve accessibility in their university's performance venues. A mother from Texas shared how she had been struggling to explain concepts of empathy and inclusion to her young children, but after attending the concert, she found the perfect real-life example to guide their understanding. Teachers across the nation began using the story as a teaching tool, helping students understand that true strength comes from lifting others up, not from standing alone at the top. The ripple effect of Elvis's gesture encouraged everyone to be more aware of those around them, reminding them that even the smallest actions could make a significant impact in someone's life and in the world at large. Mental health professionals noted an increase in discussions about community support and the healing power of feeling seen and valued by others. Karen herself underwent a remarkable transformation in the months following the concert. The experience had given her a new sense of purpose and confidence that extended far beyond that single evening. She began speaking at conferences and events, sharing her story to advocate for better accessibility and inclusion practices in public venues. She partnered with disability rights organizations to push for legislative changes that would ensure equal access to entertainment and cultural events. Her advocacy work led to the passage of several local ordinances requiring venues to have specific protocols for assisting guests with mobility challenges. The concert footage, captured by multiple audience members, became some of the most viewed content in music history. Decades later, the video would resurface on social media platforms, inspiring new generations of viewers and continuing to spread the message of compassion and inclusion. Music historians would later mark this concert as a turning point in how live performances were conceptualized, not just as entertainment, but as opportunities for community building and social impact. Elvis's spontaneous decision that night became a template for what authentic artist-fan engagement could look like. Karen's story became a beacon of hope, encouraging others to embrace compassion in their everyday lives and to remember that we all have the power to create magic through simple acts of kindness. She established a foundation in honor of that evening, focusing on improving accessibility at cultural and entertainment events while promoting the message that everyone deserves to experience the joy of live music. The foundation's work expanded over the years, providing grants to venues for accessibility improvements, training programs for event staff, and scholarships for young people with disabilities pursuing careers in the entertainment industry. Each initiative carried forward the spirit of that transformative night when Elvis chose compassion over convenience. Years later, Karen would often return to Las Vegas, sometimes visiting the same venue where her life had been changed so dramatically. She would stand in the spot where Elvis had helped her, remembering not just the music and the lights, but the feeling of being truly seen and valued by another human being. This concert was not just an evening of entertainment. It was a poignant reminder of the importance of connection and the simple ability we all possess to lift each other up when life becomes challenging. The night proved that when we witness suffering or struggle, we have a choice. We can look away and focus on our own experience, or we can step forward with open hearts and extended hands. Elvis's choice that evening created a legacy that extended far beyond his musical contributions. It demonstrated that true leadership isn't about commanding from a stage, but about recognizing when someone needs support and having the courage to provide it, regardless of who might be watching. As fans continued to share their experiences in the weeks and months that followed, the message became crystal clear. When we come together with empathy and kindness, we can create absolutely unforgettable memories and transform lives for the better, one act of compassion at a time. The night proved that true legends aren't just remembered for their talent, but for their humanity, and they're to remind us all of the power of love, kindness, and the beautiful connections we can make when we choose to see and care for one another. In a world that often feels divided and disconnected, Karen and Elvis's story serves as a powerful reminder that music, compassion, and human connection can bridge any gap. It shows us that in our moments of greatest vulnerability, we might just discover the most profound opportunities for grace, understanding, and transformative love. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us that we all have the power to be someone's Elvis, to notice when others are struggling, to step away from our own concerns, and to offer a helping hand that might just change everything. Because sometimes the most beautiful music isn't what we hear with our ears, but what we feel in our hearts when one human being reaches out to help another.